I found the tunnel because I was looking for a place to hide. It was a Friday afternoon. I'd just gotten into an argument with my history teacher. Nothing serious. I was 17. Angry, embarrassed. The school was almost empty by then. And that's when I heard something beneath my feet. 3 knocks. Not loud. Just 3 dull sounds coming from underneath the floor. I stopped. Then it happened again. Knock. 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 I looked around. The hallway was empty. For some reason, I knocked back. 3 times. The sound that answered came from directly beneath the floor. 3 more knocks. But this time, they were faster. I should have walked away. Instead, I started looking for where it was coming from. At the end of the hallway was an old storage room. Nobody used it anymore. The door was unlocked. Inside, broken desks, old science equipment, boxes covered in dust. Then I noticed something strange. The floor near the back wall was scratched. I moved the boxes aside and found a metal ring attached to a square piece of steel. A hatch? I stared at it for almost a minute. There was no reason for a hatch to be underneath a school, but when I pulled it open, cold air rushed into my face. It smelled like wet concrete and something else. Something rotten. There was a staircase underneath. I called my friend Marcus. He came a few minutes later. We stood there, staring into the darkness. Marcus laughed. There's no way we're actually doing this. I told him we'd only go down for a minute. Neither of us believed that. We turned on our flashlights and started walking. The stairs went deeper than they should have. 20 steps. 30. 40. At the bottom was a narrow concrete tunnel. Old pipes ran along the ceiling. Water dripped somewhere in the dark. We walked slowly. After a minute, Marcus stopped. There was an old wooden desk sitting in the middle of the tunnel. A school desk, covered in dust. Marcus wiped the top with his sleeve. Something had been carved into it. A name, Daniel. We kept walking. Another desk. Sarah, another. Michael, then another. Rebecca. 6 desks altogether. The last one was different. It was completely clean, like someone had just wiped the dust away. My name was carved into it. Jack. Marcus stared at me. I stared at the desk. Neither of us said anything. Then I noticed a date. Underneath my name. 3 days from that Friday. Marcus whispered, "That's not funny." I didn't do it. He looked at me. I know. Then something scraped behind us. A chair, slowly dragging across the concrete. We turned around. The hallway was empty. But one of the desks had moved. The desk with my name on it was now facing us. We ran. We didn't stop until we reached the stairs. The hatch was closed. Marcus grabbed the handle. Locked. He pulled harder. Nothing. Then we heard footsteps behind us. Bare feet walking slowly across the concrete. Step, step, step. We turned off our flashlights. The footsteps stopped. Then a child's voice whispered from the darkness, "Jack." Marcus grabbed my arm. The voice came again. Closer this time. "Jack." I covered my mouth. The hatch suddenly opened. We scrambled up the stairs and slammed it shut behind us. We ran all the way to the parking lot. Neither of us spoke until we were outside. That night, I couldn't sleep. At 2:14 in the morning, my phone vibrated. A message from Marcus. A photograph. The desk. My name. The date. Underneath the picture, he'd written, "I looked through the school archives." Then another message. "You need to see this." He sent me a scanned newspaper article from 1987. The headline read, "Student missing after disappearing inside school. The boy's name was Jack Miller, 17 years old." Same school. The article said he disappeared on a Friday afternoon. His body was never found. I called Marcus immediately. He answered after one ring. His voice was barely above a whisper. "There's something else." "What?" "The picture. Look at the boy." I opened the article again. The photograph was old and blurry, but there was something familiar about his face, not just the name. A small scar above his left eyebrow. I had the exact same scar. Marcus said, "Jack, the article says he disappeared 3 days before they found the tunnel." I felt cold. That doesn't make sense. No, none of this does. Then someone knocked on my bedroom window. 3 times. I froze. My room was on the 2nd floor. No balcony, no tree close enough to reach. I slowly walked toward it. The knocking stopped. I pulled the curtain aside. Nothing. Only darkness. Then my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. Nobody spoke. I could hear breathing, then a child's voice. 3 days. The call ended. The next morning, Marcus wasn't at school. I called him. No answer. His mother said he'd left home early. He never arrived. I knew where he'd gone. The science wing. I found the storage room unlocked. The hatch was open. I went down alone. I wish I hadn't. The tunnel felt different this time. Colder, narrower, and the desks were gone. All of them. Except mine. It sat at the very end of the tunnel. I walked toward it. Something was written on the wall behind it. "He's still here." Then I heard Marcus. "Jack?" His voice came from somewhere deeper. I followed it. The tunnel opened into a small room. Chains on the walls. Old ones. Rusty, some still stained dark. In the center, a cassette recorder. Beside it, dozens of tapes, each one with a student's name. I found one marked. Marcus. My hands were shaking when I pressed play. Static. Then Marcus's voice. "If you're hearing this," he stopped. I heard him breathing. Then he whispered, "Don't trust me." The tape clicked. I nearly dropped it. Then Marcus spoke again. "He's wearing my face." The recording ended. Behind me, something breathed. I turned around. Marcus was standing in the doorway, barefoot, his clothes covered in dirt, his face pale. I whispered his name. He didn't answer. He just stared. Then he smiled. It wasn't Marcus's smile, not even close. He pointed toward the recorder. I looked down. It had started playing again. My own voice came through the speaker. "Don't turn around." I froze. Marcus whispered, "Too late." I turned. Something was standing behind me. I couldn't see its face. It was tall, far too tall. Its arms hung almost to the floor, and its head was tilted toward me like it was studying me. Then the light on my phone went out. I heard Marcus scream. I grabbed him and ran. We sprinted through the tunnel. Behind us came footsteps. Not one person. Dozens. Running, we reached the stairs. The hatch was open. We climbed out and slammed it shut. When we looked back, Marcus was crying. He grabbed my shoulders. "Don't ever go back." I asked him what he'd seen. He wouldn't answer. The police searched the school that evening. They found the tunnel. They found the chains. They found the cassette recorder. But there was no hidden room. No tapes. No second passage. The tunnel simply ended at a concrete wall. The police thought we'd imagined the rest. Then, 3 days later, the school closed. Workers had discovered a sealed room behind the science wing. Inside 6 old desks, 5 covered in dust. The 6th was completely clean. My name was carved into it. Underneath, that same date. I never went back. Marcus transferred schools. We stopped talking about what happened. For almost a year, everything was normal. Then one afternoon, a package arrived at my house. No return address. Inside a cassette tape. My name written on it. I found an old player and pressed play. Static, then my voice. Older, tired, terrified. "Jack, if you're hearing this, you already went back." The voice continued. "The tunnel isn't beneath the school." A long pause. The school was built on top of it. Then something knocked in the recording. 3 times. Knock, knock, knock. My bedroom floor answered. 3 knocks. I slowly looked down. Another 3 came from underneath. Then I heard something dragging itself across the floor beneath me. Slowly. Getting closer. And that's when I realized what the date on that desk had actually meant. It wasn't the day I would disappear. It was the day the tunnel would finally reach me. The floor beneath my feet cracked, and from the darkness underneath, a child's hand slowly reached through. It had my scar, the exact same scar, above the left eyebrow, and from somewhere below my house, a voice whispered my name. "Jack." Then another voice answered. "Mine. I've been waiting for you."